Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crush That Exam Success Stories. My name is Dr. Erica Liggins, licensed clinical psychologist and founder and CEO of the Crush That Exam program. I am so excited to have yet another alumni here with us to share their story of how they crushed their EPPP exam. So go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you're located, and a little bit about what you do clinically.
So, Dr. Jennifer Rodriguez, Jen, I am located in Florida and currently I am working in corrections.
Yes, very interesting population. I'm sure you have stories for days, I bet, of all the things that go on. So tell us, when did you graduate and what was your experience like with trying to pass the exam before you found our program?
Okay, so graduated in 2018. So technically, and again, this is where I say that, the journey has been just that. Um, should have, we'll put in quotes, graduated in 2014, but due to like various dissertation things and whatnot, didn't happen until 2018.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, prior to finding the program, I mean, I took the exam 7 times in total.
Mhm.
Um, I definitely say that the past 3 times while working with the program are the ones that I count, because before then, didn't know I had ADHD,
Mhm.
was diagnosed late 30s, which made complete sense. And health issues as well got in the way. So my first time taking the EPPP was in 2020 during COVID, which was
Yeah, terrible.
just a terrible experience all on its own.
Mhm. Absolutely. So you had a long and difficult journey. And just for reference, because people could be watching this at any time, it's early 2026 and you just passed the test a couple weeks ago. So we're talking a really long journey to get here. And you had some different delays throughout your process, even with getting the degree. And so that just makes this victory even sweeter because and a lot of people can relate to you where their graduate experience wasn't super streamlined. So they come into this final step already feeling kind of beaten up from that entire process, right? So you were trying to do this on your own with ADHD, not knowing you had it for most of your prep journey. I think by the time we came started working together, you finally had that diagnosis, so you had some more support in place. But you were trying your own with that, plus chronic health issues, and then you find our program. How did you hear about us?
I was trying to think about that and I cannot remember. I think it was probably on one of like the Facebook forums that just happened to mention the program. And I had worked with other programs before or another program before, um, but it just didn't make sense, I guess, to me with what I needed. So clicked on, I think it was one of the Facebook forums, saw it, and it's like, okay, like we're gonna do this. I didn't even attend an info session. I think I just purchased the boot camp. And it was like we're gonna dive in. Like this is what we're doing.
Yeah, you hopped right in there because it had already been a long and difficult journey and you just wanted to get this behind you. So you came to us, and I think the first time you took it under our program, you had already had a day. I think you were locked into it, and I think you were going to run out, with the bureaucracy and the rules. I think your time is going to run out and they were going to keep your money. So you kind of had to do it. But you had barely just started our program, so we weren't able to fully get you through it. And then the second time you took the exam under a program, that's the one that really hurt because at that point you had been doing the program and you were on track. You were ready to go, but life happened. Oh, that was really painful. And just weren't able to pass that day because your head wasn't fully settled and where it needed to be. But that third time was the charm because you came back and it wasn't easy to come back. We kind of had to pick it back up off the because at that point you're like, oh my God, I felt ready, but then this and that happened. So tell us a little bit about what those experiences were like under our program and finally then having a plan, but still, because of life stuff that happened, having setbacks and needing to attempt again.
So, I mean, with the program, like I saw an immediate jump in scores. I mean, highest I scored from prior attempts. So, the first one I was locked in, I had to take it at that time for work. Um, but I was still proud of the score I got because it's like, holy moly, like I just need, it's just a smidge more that
Yep.
I need and I'm good. And I'm seeing that this is working. Um, and then, of course, second time life happened. Um, and we had a very candid, conversation where you were like, you need to take some time and recalibrate, much to I didn't want to. But I listened, and that was exactly what I needed
I
for
put you on
jumping back in.
detox, as I like to call it. E
Yeah,
triple
you
P
definitely
detox.
did. You definitely did. Yeah, and then picked right back up, with everything and reviewing and doing my practice exams, and then that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And thankfully life settled down a bit. And so you had the focus plus all that really good preparation that you had done under our program, and it all just came together, which is fantastic. And now you're totally done. It's great. So tell people, what are some of the things you enjoyed most about being in our program?
The structure, because that was one of the things I know I struggled with was, okay, what do I study when? Like how, like almost like how do I study? So even coming in, new to the program, getting the feedback from you on my notes, and really then thinking about, all right, how does this make sense to me? Like how will my notes make sense to me in a way that it sticks, which was very different than before. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'll be able to remember this, and it's like, no, there's too much like jargon in there that just didn't make sense in my brain. I was like, I
Mhm.
need to pare this down or need to make it make sense for me. So that was like biggest difference starting out. Um, and then just like the structure of like, all right, this is what we're doing this week. X amount of hours. That's what you have to hit. And, then from there it was on me for time management because you couldn't study at work or anything like that. So it was, all right, how am I structuring my day so that I can study a little bit before work? And then how much can I ideally, after a long day of work, dedicate to this? And then my weekends were just like, all right, this is what we're doing. We're doing the parallel. We're reviewing, we're taking breaks, different things like that. So it was a lot of the structure and then the community support, the accountability as well of being in the various cohorts. Um, and getting to know that and just checking in with each other and then being able to email you like, this is how I'm feeling and getting a response of like, all right, it's okay. Like we're okay here. The reassurance.
Absolutely. Yes, it was a mixture of both structure and the plan itself. So the program is grounded in a plan and a framework called the Snowball Study Method that we work from, that I created many moons ago when I was going through this process. And then it's coupled with this robust community from the parallel work sessions, which are virtual co-working sessions for those who are watching this. You're like, what's a parallel? And so we call them parallel work sessions because we're together but working individually. And the online community, and then also group coaching, meeting with your cohort every week. Sometimes people are scared about groups. They're like, I don't know, I don't like group stuff. That's one of the best parts, having that sense of community right there every single week. You see other people going through ups and downs and just having that camaraderie. And then you build relationships and are connecting with people outside of group, checking in on each other. It's just amazing to have all of that come together, which is really, really good. So, all of those things held you up. Now, can you speak for a moment to the people who might also be neurodivergent, who might also have chronic health conditions that they're dealing with? Do you have a tip or two or a little bit of encouragement for folks who are experiencing that?
I would say it's one of the things I learned was trust the process and radical acceptance, honestly, of, some days are better than others. And that's okay. Some days I feel like, yes, I got an awesome study session in today. Other times, yes, I did review and I was like, wait, but I feel like I didn't really review. But just in trusting of like, I'm I'm following this. I am reading the material. I am exposing myself to it. Like this is how it's going to be. And even on days when chronic health stuff would set in, of just being like, I can't do anything about that. And if I try to push myself, it's only going to be worse later. So giving myself grace was a big thing as well.
Absolutely. And here at Crush the Exam, everybody knows, or they may not know who's watching this. I'm neurodivergent as well. So when you're with a program that is built by someone who has different barriers as well, the entire program is set up to help everyone. So even our study plans, we have two versions. We put you on the one that was more flexible, that can go at a little bit more of a gentle pace. So if you had a really rough week with health stuff and you just couldn't, or you could only go at half speed, it's okay because the plan is easily modifiable, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that's what we're all about here at Crush That Exam. We accept everyone, no matter how many things might be standing in their way. So, and you're living proof that even with those things, having had a long journey, trying to get your degree, and then a really difficult journey with this prior to coming to us, plus health issues, plus neurodivergence, and you're still sitting here fully licensed.
I am. I am still. I'm still here. Did not give up.
I know, I'm so glad you didn't. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you didn't. Because there's so many people out there who would want to, so I'm just so glad that you didn't. So, anything that was difficult about going through the program?
I would say one thing, and this is just, my own personal, is my own mindset. It's kind of the getting out of my own way of, the thoughts of, I'm not doing enough. Am I really retaining this? Um, just, going through my own study sessions and being like, okay, like I'm giving it my all, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's, the not non-judgmental part of my mindset. And I know that the first time with the program that I took it, you know, did was not successful, but still scored
Improved a
well.
bunch.
Exactly. The second time was the hardest. And I know I shared that I didn't feel like I failed until that particular moment. But then even taking a step back and meeting with you individually and just talking it out of that was a really rough time for me. And
Mhm.
I still improved my score
I know, even in the
regardless.
midst of all hell breaking loose,
Yep.
you still improved, which shows
I,
how far you had come.
exactly. And then, just getting back on it and going to therapy and, ain't no shame. It's like, yep, Klonopin, not gonna lie. Oh, just personally, I'm just gonna say that, just to ease my own anxiety, like knowing like, okay, I was getting really anxious. And again, it comes to the mindset and just whatever I needed to do for me to be my best self and be like, okay, this is what needs to
Love it.
happen for me.
We love medication. We love it because it can, a lot of people, what they don't get sometimes when they're still holding on to stigma is that it's not about giving you some kind of handout or some kind of something. It's about allowing you to shine and allowing all that hard work that you put in to show, right?
Absolutely.
And you had extra time for the exam as well. So all of that support with that accommodation and medication support allowed you to shine. And that's why you're sitting here today.
Yeah. And I was completely accepting of it. I was like, you know what? This is, it's not a cop out. It's not an easy because I'm still putting in the work. Like it doesn't
Oh
matter.
yeah.
The medication's not making you remember anything, right? But
Right.
like I'm still putting in the work. It's just helping, my own inner workings to be able to regulate, just a little bit more assistance in regulating on top of what I was already doing.
Yep.
And
'Cause you were doing lots of coping, you were doing lots of self-talk. You pulled out all the stops. You did all the things. All the things.
visualization, I was everything. It was actually
Literally
a really
everything.
big part, visualization. I did a great little playlist. Even woke up that morning with, a really positive song that like was really upbeat. And I was like, all right, we're gonna do this.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. Anything you would have done differently looking back on this whole journey?
Wishing I would have found the program earlier.
Yeah, for sure. I know everybody always says that. They're like, I wish I would have done this earlier. And it's so interesting because when we talk to people who have never taken the test, sometimes they're like, well, I don't know if I need coaching. I don't know. I think I can figure this out. But it's better to have support.
It's better to have it, like, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it type
Amen
thing.
to
And
that. Yeah.
I definitely, I mean, that was the thing. Yeah, finding the program earlier. And it also just helped as far as, oh, this is what works for my brain. Like, even in figuring that out with study skills, 'cause again, before, I don't know what I was doing. I mean, I'm just like, wow, like, this is, this is how you actually study. Um,
Right. Yeah. So what would you tell someone if they were like looking into our program, but maybe they're not sure if they should try it?
I mean, I'd definitely say go for it. I mean, honestly, it was the best. And I will say that I sing praises to the program to anyone that hasn't been successful and is looking to do so. I send them your way because I'm like, at least give it a whirl. See how it works for you. And it's again, it's an exercise in kind of the radical acceptance, which is kind of what you need when you take the exam too, because you know the things are just kind of out there sometimes, and it's that flexibility of like, okay, this is this is what we're doing. I've done all I can do. I've worked with my coach. I've done the group study sessions. I've done the cohorts. I know I've been on
You
track
did
with
it.
everything I'm doing. So I'm as prepared as I'm going to be, especially
Right.
this last time. That was the mentality. Like, here we are. I've
You did
done it.
everything. You literally did everything I asked you to do. And that's how I want everyone walking into their test day. I want them to feel like I gave it all I could, and I did everything to help myself, to set myself up for success. Because what I hear a lot of times when I talk to repeat test takers before they start our program is many people are walking in there shaky. They're walking in there on a hope and a prayer and rather than real preparation. They're just kind of winging it, or they're going to go see what it's like and that kind of stuff. It just does not. This is a very expensive experiment if you're going to do that. I can't do that. I cannot be throwing around that kind of money just to see. That's me personally, but so our goal at Crush That Exam, we really are proponents of over preparation because we know what's on the line and we know how hard people have been working and how long they have been, fighting this and we just want it to be done. So we want to send you in there knowing that we gave you all we could so that you can have that inner confidence. And it all worked out. It's so exciting. So, now that you're done with all this and it's over forever, I mean, this is just your life now that you're free for the EPPP. So, like, what do you want to do? What's one thing you want to do both professionally and personally now that you have more time?
Personally, I'm trying to figure out what to do with my time. Been reading, but also I'm like, okay, getting back. I actually last night was looking up ballet classes because I love ballet, I love dance. So there's actually a studio close by, and I'm like, you know what? I can I can do this now. Like once a week, go get my fill of my movement, the thing that I love to do. Um, and do that. So I'm very excited about that. And professionally, leaving the current job I'm at, but doors are opening. It's already been that with interviews and people seeking me out because I do have the experience. I do. Like I was saying, it's kind of funny how once they see license, it's like all of a sudden your CV shines differently
Right? You're
than
like, I was
before.
literally the same person as I was yesterday. But
Exactly.
these things do matter in this world, and we can't
Mm.
deny that. So it's been what, not even a month, and you're already.
Yeah. And just really focusing on, okay, the work life balance and what do I want the next steps to look like? And I always had a plan. Like, yes, I'd like to. I don't want to go into private practice. It's not my
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
But working like within a hospital setting or something like that, which again has interviews have been happening for that, and being able to mentor others, or teach all this knowledge that I have of the field and my passion for it. It's like refining the passion for what I do
Mm.
is now kind of shining in the background. Like, okay, like yay.
And you just get to go do it all. No restrictions. Oh, it's amazing. Well, Jen, we just wish you like so much new opportunities. Yay. And freedom and tons of joy and movement too.
Thank you.